And we are carrying on the Tall Black theme with another great Brendon Pongia. He talks about growing up in Greymouth, or the G-spot as he calls it.
I'm a Greymouth boy, G-spot hard.
Being a half Māori kid, not knowing his whakapapa and feeling like a disconnection.
I always wanted to know where I come from. Sort of knew that I was Ngāpuhi, so I went searching for my dad and trying to find him.
The only memories of his father when he was young was filled with violence and alcohol. He talked about quite deeply about his brother, the great Quentin Pongia.
We miss him, but we celebrate what he did for the game.
He talked about how he got through that really tough time.
You got to lean into it, right? You got to be vulnerable. You've actually got to feel it.
There are many aspects of this story that can help many different people. So I really encourage you to watch this. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Brendon Pongia, enjoy. Unfiltered is produced by the team at Fanaticals, and we are part of the Acast network. Before the episode starts, I just ask for one favour, one thing only of you. If you're watching, 80% of people watching are not subscribed. So if I can ask for one thing, please hit the subscribe button. It enables us to keep growing and to keep showing these stories, to keep showing people that no matter where you start in life and what you're going through, it's possible. Thanks, team. Enjoy. Brendon Pongia, thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Busy. Life's busy, and got an 11-year-old who sort of runs around. I kind of chase him, and then the wife and 2 dogs. So that keeps you busy, mate.
You're the youngest 57-year-old I've ever met. The boys were just saying, complimenting, what's your skin routine? First, can we have this? This will be a good clip. A good clip. Skin routine by Brendon Pongia.
Yeah, I just drink plenty of water, and I'm just probably lucky enough genetically. My mum looks pretty good for, she's over 70 years old, so she looks good. So maybe my mum's genetics, and obviously a little bit of my dad's, with the Māori side. Yeah. What do they say? Black don't crack.
Once you go black, you never go back.
Well, there's that as well. Hey, but that's for another podcast.
Oh, man. I think that, when did I first meet you, bro?
You were kind of just starting off the BBM journey, doing some amazing stuff. But as you know, when you start off with something, it's really hard, right? You're trying to get traction. You're working heaps and heaps of hours and probably doing it for next to nothing. Well, you were doing it for next to nothing. But the thing I loved about what you were doing was the purpose and your why. With my background and what I do, I work with Cure Kids, and I'm good at raising money, right? Or I have contacts into those areas. And one of my businesses that we deal with, the Hugh Green Foundation, I was talking to them about you, and there's a real fit there. And they had the funding. That's what they do. They fund and they fund research, a lot of stuff we do at Cure Kids, but they fund a lot of different things. And what you were doing, it fitted right into what they would look at. And I think we had that first meeting. Yeah. And I remember we sat down, and I remember you sitting there, humble, quiet guy, which you still are. And I was like, "Are you paying yourself, bro?" And you said to me, "Oh, nah." I said, "Well, in order for you to make a real impact on this, you need to look after yourself first and foremost, right? And you've got the program, but you just need those other things around you to help build what you have now."
That was our first connection, into the funding world.
Yeah.
Was we met, you introduced us to Adrian from the Hugh Green. She's the CEO. She's amazing.
Yes.
And she was like, writing figures down as I'm talking. She goes, "How are you doing this? And why are you not being supported by the government, And then, they just supported us right straight away. Yeah, I'm always very grateful for that connection, because it's all about who you know.
Oh, yeah, and I was grateful. I was grateful for the connection also, because, I think when you look at why we're here, if we can uplift or build other people or move people into a positive place, mate, that's doing good, no matter what it is. I work in the child health research space with Cure Kids. I love what I do,
How much money have you raised Cure Kids over the years?
Mate, I don't know exactly, but there'd be a few million. Wow. And for me, it's about making a difference. And, if you're in a privileged position and you can enable something and unlock something and move something to something that's really, really positive, then mate, you got to feel good about that, right?
Yeah.
It's a value of mine. Giving back's a value of mine.
Yeah.
Whether it's Cure Kids, whether it's helping out someone like you, I'll always give people what I call my banana cake mix, right? Here's how I go about it, but you may do it differently. But this is the banana cake mix. You won't make a banana cake like me. You'll probably make a chocolate cake. but you know, I'll give you the tools or things that have helped me to be able to unlock money.
Yeah, so you grew up at Greymouth?
I'm a Greymouth boy.
Born and
G-spot hard.
What's it called?
I call it the G-spot.
G-spot. What was it like growing up there? What was your youth like?
My mum's one of 14.
Wow.
Scottish-Irish family, the Callers, and I'm one of 58 grandchildren.
Wow.
From the West Coast. So, you know, ding-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. It was such a great place to grow up. Great community.
How many brothers and sisters?
So I've got one brother who passed away. He's coming up 7 years now. Most people probably know him, Quentin Pongia, rugby league player, one of the greats, really.
Great. He is a hero.
He's a hero to a lot of people, and rest in peace, brother. And then I have a younger sister, Megan. She played rugby league for New Zealand as well. So 3 of us from the family represented New Zealand at the highest level. Which was pretty amazing, right? Pretty tenacious kind of family, all of us in sport. My mum was quite full on, you know, around sport and that. Dad was from the north, but never really had a relationship with my dad. My dad come down, met my mum, brother and I, obviously the children from that, but he's from the north, from Ngāpuhi, so never met him.
So it's still to this day?
I met him. So it was an interesting upbringing with my dad. A lot of alcohol, a lot of fighting, you know, which happened as a kid. Saw a lot as a 3 and 4 year old. You know, my mum getting, you know, knocked down the steps, and, you know, she hit him over the head with a stiletto and nearly killed him. Jeez. So quite violent, you know, but a lot of alcohol. So
that was the household you grew up in?
Yeah, as a young, and then he left when we were about 5 or 6. It was really interesting growing up for me because, you know, being Māori, and there wasn't many Māori on the West Coast, let's be honest, right? But I never sort of looked at it that way, but I always wanted to know where I come from.
Yeah.
Sort of knew that I was Ngāpuhi, so I went searching for my dad and trying to find him and just come to a dead end. I was playing basketball up here at North Harbour. I was 23, maybe 24. And then after the game, a guy come and tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around and he goes, "Hi, my name's Geneva. I'm your dad." Jeez. And I'm like, wow. Anyway, I said, "Oh, nice to meet you." I said, "Oh, I'd love to catch up." So I went and caught up with him. And, gang, alcoholic. All he did was drink the whole time, right, when we were together. And I kind of was like, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And then it just, you know, after a while, I was just like, this guy here. I don't know whether it was because of the situation, he hadn't been able to connect with us in the past, and all of a sudden now he's got his son, and the only way he could deal with it was probably by having a few drinks. Yeah. But I wanted to really connect with him and understand where I come from and stuff. So that was hard. It was really hard for me. And sort of after that initial cut ties, right? I know that he tried to reach out to Quinnan when he was playing for the Kiwis, you know, random call at the hotel that they were staying at, and he asked for tickets to the test match. Like, I'm your dad, do you have any, you know, so, but I always look back and go, you know what? Maybe he didn't know how to deal with that situation, you know. You got 2 boys, which I found out later on, he followed us, mate, paper clippings. Yeah. Because I was living in the Hawke's Bay, and somebody come up to me, this was about 2 or 3 years later, and go, "Hey, are you related to, there's something in the paper, your dad Geneva's passed away," and it says that the funeral's, and so I rang the marae up north, and I went up to the tangi, which was first time stepping onto your family marae. Had a real disconnect with Māori side because I was brought up in the South Island, and that was pretty powerful watching your dad, you know, seeing your dad in the coffin, and then seeing your ancestors and sort of finding out a little bit about where you come from. Yeah, it was sad, eh? You know, like, but then given all the paper clippings, he was a member of the Canberra Rugby League Club, supporters club, you know, he'd been following my brother and that. So he followed us, but he just didn't know how to sort of broker that relationship, you know. And the alcohol didn't help, you know, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It didn't help it in any way, but that was just his way of coping with it.
Did you meet any of your other extended family on his side?
Yeah, I did. And I had the opportunity probably a year later. I did a TV show called Missing Pieces.
Wow. Which
took me back to the north, which was really powerful.
So when did you start getting serious into basketball?
So I played all sports as a kid growing up. Rugby league, so we played rugby league together, you know, and loved the game. I played basketball, softball, but sort of started playing basketball when I was about 14 or 15. Used to be that kid on the court because my mum used to play.
Yeah.
You know, at half time, the kid going up, shooting the shots and referee telling you to get off the court. So I started playing at high school and was pretty good at it. But I used to, man, I'd take a basketball with me everywhere, mate, down the street, science class, bouncing the ball in the back of the science class, last person at morning tea, lunchtime to go into class. I'd always be getting told off because I'd be always out playing basketball. So the first opportunity that came my way, I was playing for Greymouth High School. It was the regionals, which meant it's Nayland College, Nelson College, Waimea. They all come down, we'll call them the big schools, right? Yeah. And little old Greymouth. Well, I averaged we played all those teams, I averaged 40-something points a game.
Jeez. And
after the tournament, the principal for Nayland College rings me and goes, hey, would you like to come up to the national secondary schools? Oh, yeah, mate, I'm in. He goes, well, you have to come up to school. I'm like, okay, I'll come up to school. So anyway, I went up there because you had to be registered at the school to qualify. I only went up there for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went up there. I didn't go to class. I just was playing basketball the whole time. Anyway, I played for Nayland and I played really well at the national tournament. And while I was there, the coach of the Waikato Titans at the time saw me and said, about 2 weeks later, would you like to come up to Hamilton? And I'm like, yep. Phone call happened. Said to Mum, I'm gone. Because, you know what? I knew there was a bigger world out there for me and I didn't want to work in a coal mine and I didn't want to work in the bush. I'm like, was
there much options growing up in Greymouth?
And there's lots of jobs, but I'm, hey, do I look like a coal mining guy? Does this look like a coal mining guy?
You know, you remind me of that movie Zoolander when he went back and worked in the coal mines.
Comes out with the, It wasn't going to happen, mate. That wasn't, for me, sport was it was kind of that vehicle for me. I thought,
the way out.
Yeah, it was my way out, right? Not that it was bad. I mean, there was options, but I was like, man, I want to get out and see the world, man. Basketball's been amazing for me. It's opened so many opportunities, but I've grabbed those opportunities too, right?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that I did other things, right? Yeah. I had the opportunity to do TV, moved into TV, sideline commentary. I had no idea what I was doing. So I used to do interviews around games, right? But that led to Sky TV, which then led to TVNZ,
Yeah. And
never done any TV in my life, right?
It's like you're saying, earlier, it's when opportunities come your way, it's about taking them and running with them. And I get asked all the time about how we've done this, and it's one of the things I said, you've got to start doing the work, and when opportunities present themselves, take them.
I always go back to a passion. When you're passionate about something, you feel it. You're like, oh man, I want to. So think about that feeling. Think about how you feel when you're passionate. And so in life, you'll get those opportunities again.
Yeah.
So you grab them with both hands and you run with it. You run with it, you hold it, because there's nothing but good that will happen from being passionate about something, right? Whether it's sport, whatever it is. And sometimes people don't know that that's what being passionate is, right? And being passionate for one person could be quite different for someone else.
Yep.
Being successful or perceived as being successful for one person can be quite different for somebody else.
It's talking about your TV and the no judgment stuff. You also did Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Did you watch some of mine before you did it?
What was your experience like? Did you win it?
No, I didn't win it. I was gutted though. So I'll share.
It's funny
with-
because when you do it, you say people think, oh, these guys don't care, but once you're in it, you care.
Oh, mate.
You-
So when they asked me, I was like, oh, you know what? Do I really want to do this? And then they had all the dance partners. Oh, this single guy. I go, I'll do it if I dance with her.
Who was your dance partner?
Haley Holt.
Haley Holt.
Anyway, Haley was great.
She's a cool person.
Yeah,
I met her a few
and she
times.
was patient as, and
So she's actually a dancer.
oh man, she can move. Hell, you know what? It's this is the way I looked at it. It's like if I pick her, the judges and everyone would look at her. They won't be looking at me.
Yeah.
That was my thoughts around it. We did the show, and every single practice session, I forget the dance. I just go blank. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have no idea. Anyway, and the producers are going, are you all right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll be okay. No worries. Anyway, this happened every week. You know when they go, hey, will Brendon and Haley come to the dance floor? And then the camera's on you, and then you turn to the left, and then they sort of get you walking across. I'd turn to Haley and go, what's the first step? And this was a live show, right?
Shit.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, and I'd step in, but for some reason, the lights come on and nail it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I get it right. And then all the other dancers going, oh, mate, he's thing with our head.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I literally would forget it. But on the night, I'd nail it.
Yeah.
And someone said, would you do it again? I said, mate, absolutely I'd do it again. What an experience. Scariest thing I've done in my life.
Yeah, it was tough. I managed to come third.
I know you did.
I reckon my votes were first, but they just
Yeah, well,
rigged it around.
yeah, well, no, this is, I think I came third as well, because how it works is the amount of money that you make for your charity. I made more money than the winning, than Suzanne Paul. So I made more money. So in effect,
Yeah.
I had the public vote. And that's where my relationship with Cure Kids started.
Wow.
Because I danced for the charity.
Yeah.
Which was that many years ago, and here we are. And how ironic that was part of the pathway, right, of what I'm doing right now.
And then how did you? So you're working for Cure Kids, and now what are you up to now, Bo?
So been with Cure Kids now for 12 years. So been in the charity space for a while now. So kind of get it, understand it.
Have you ever seen it as tough as it is now?
It's tough. It's really, really tough out there. But there are people that are doing well, right? And it's just about finding those people or individuals or businesses, because within businesses, people are busy, time poor, and they want to give back, but they don't know how. So you got to find an effective and efficient way of doing that, because generally most people want to do that. You'll have some organisations that they talk about as part of their culture and their value system, but they do nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'll share an example, and I won't say who the company was, but I walked through their offices and through the reception. I looked up on the wall, and I was looking at the value system on the wall, and as part of their values was giving back and community orientated, and obviously I was coming in to talk to the board around that. Sat down with them, 45 minutes, bro. I was speaking to them. Nothing was mentioned about, and it was an hour meeting, and I was like, anyway, I sort of in the middle of the meeting, I said, hey, I said, we've got 15 minutes left and we haven't really talked about, what we need to talk about. And I just wanted to mention one thing when I come in, which was your seventh value about giving back on the wall. And I haven't heard anything that connects to that value. So now I've realised why I'm here, to help you connect with your seventh value on the wall. They're all looking at me like, yeah, you're right. I said, anything's as good as the bit of paper or the wall that it's written on.
Yeah.
But you got to connect that to what you're doing as an organisation. And half the time, people don't understand what their why is. They just kind of write a check, and then you need to connect with why you're writing the check.
Yeah.
Because for me, whether it's a little amount, we start here, but we grow it slowly but surely, so that we do long-term business, not just the one-off.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at business. It's about long-term. It's about friendship. It's about, you can say no. Maybe the time's not right now, but we're in this for a long term. And I want all your community, all the people that are involved with your business or buy or sell your product, I want them involved as well.
Yeah.
Because you're doing a good thing. So how do we connect all them? Because the saying I have is, if we all do a little bit, it makes a big bit.
Yeah.
And we're all part of that big bit, right? Because everyone wants to be, right? But it's just connecting them in. And maybe that little bit will become a bigger bit in the future, right? I am almost like an advocate in the space anyway, because there are times where maybe Cure Kids is not, it doesn't align with them because of maybe something's happened in the organisation which is a real anchor point for them, and maybe it's child cancer, maybe, whatever. Maybe it's BBM, right?
Yeah.
I'll go, hey, here's Dave's number, give him a call.
Yeah.
Great guy. This will be an amazing fit for what you're doing. So you're still helping, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't
100%.
matter. You're still giving back. You're still helping. And for me, if we all do that, then we can feed the ecosystem. We can look after one another, right?
You spoke earlier about your brother. And I remember I was only young and I was working at the video shop in Eastridge, and he was a member there. And I remember he had an outstanding video, and I saw his nails. Oh man, I'm scared to call this guy. He's a hero. I don't want to call him, but I got his answer machine. I was all like pumped to listen to his answer machine. You know,
Yeah.
He was an amazing man. And was it cancer that he passed away from?
Yeah. So
Because I lost my sister as well to cancer.
Yeah, right.
How did you make it through that? Because
man, I tell you what, I'll go back to when I found out. I was driving on, I was in Surrey Crescent, and I get this phone call. I'm driving, and it's Quentin, obviously, and I go, hey bro, and all I hear is, it's everywhere, I'm like, what's everywhere? And I said, oh, Quentin, you all good? He goes, oh, it's everywhere. And I was driving, I said, hey, give me a minute, I'm going to pull over, wherever you are, just pull over. Anyway, sat down and talked to him, and basically he'd been going through treatment and he wanted to go down the natural path, right? And I was like, bro, you need to, do chemo. We can do both, right? But he chose to sort of go down that natural path, and it got a little bit out of control. So it was bowel cancer, and it got bigger and bigger, and so he ended up having to have a colostomy bag, which kind of was a bit of a head fuck for him as well. Because when you eat, you got to empty it all the time, and he's kind of quite a proud guy, right? Yeah. And so he lost a lot of weight, man. He was maybe 85, 80 kgs maybe, and he was sort of dealing with that. So they ended up operating, and they cut it out, and they said they got everything, and he was back in New Zealand, and he might have got down to 60, 70 kgs. Yeah. I thought, he's on the path backwards, and then I got that call when I was in Surrey Crescent. It goes, it's everywhere. This was after that operation. And I remember sitting there and trying to imagine what it would be like hearing that, it's in your stomach, it's in your liver, it's everywhere. And, if you're hearing from the oncologist and you hear that, you don't hear anything else. Mm. And so I pretty much probably a few days later travelled over to Sydney, met with the oncologist, and they basically said, we can give him some chemo, but it's just going to prolong his life. And he decided not to go through it because he kind of it was a bit of a battle when he went through it. So he thought he'd go down the other path, and managed to get him home, which was really hard, My cousin ended up bringing him back home, but he ended up having to wrap him up because he was he was 40-something kgs, mate. Yeah. He was a skeleton, right? And there's no way he would have been able to get on the plane. Got him on the plane, got him home, flew into Christchurch, and then Mum and Dad came over to pick him up because he didn't want to. We're going to fly him home, but he said, "No, I want to go in the car." So Mum and Dad picked him up, and they drove him across the Southern Alps. And for people that haven't sort of driven that drive, it's about 3 hours, 2 hours 45, and Mum said she had to pull over maybe every half an hour, 20 minutes. He was vomiting on the side of the road, but he wanted to do it. It was almost like the last journey home, right? Got him home, and I was down there at home with him, and mate, people couldn't believe he was still alive. I remember sitting in our lounge, and as kids in the family home, we used to have this area, and we'd sit there, and you could look outside and you see cars driving by. And then in Greymouth, it rains a lot. Let's be honest, it pisses down on the West Coast. Anyway, we're sort of having a moment, just him and I. It's about 2 days before he died. It started raining. And he looked over me and he goes, "How good's this, bro?" And I went, "What?" He goes, oh, the rain, mate. You remember when we were kids? You know, like, and it took us back to, oh, man. Yeah, it took us back to when we were kids, mate. You know, nothing else mattered, mate, at that time, right? You know, and that moment of get back to the simple things, eh? The simple things in life, man. We get caught up in this world, man. And, you know, you get back to the basics of being brothers, growing up, you know, waking up, going to football on Saturdays, you know, pissing down with rain and just those fun times and those fun things. And, you know, 2 days later, he passed away and, oh, mate, I didn't want the burden on my family, so we had the body at home. And I remember, man, I've never seen so many people because we had groups coming and our lounge wasn't big enough, right? So we had the body at home. I remember going outside and I looked down the road, I was like, wow. And then I looked down, I go, people on their Canberra Raiders tops. And like, next minute's Brett Mullins.
Wow.
It's they come from Australia, right? They come to pay their respects. And I remember talking to them. They'd never been in a situation where they'd seen an open casket, especially with.
Yeah.
Anyway, they came in and it was pretty. As you know, it's a pretty powerful space and quite emotional, and the boys got quite emotional. And then it's a great space too, because it's a safe space as well. And after everyone sort of was, you know, sharing their feelings and the stories come out.
Yeah.
You know, these are stories that maybe it's in another show, but you know, the stories of, you know, they played with him in certain games and mate, the respect that they had for him as a player. Like, you know, he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I remember going over to Canberra and, you know, Mal was there and stuff. And Tim Sheens, mate, they set him up there like he was an icon for that club. And, you know, prop forwards, mate, no frills. But players, Laurie Daly's, your Ricky Stewart's, mate, they knew how important he was, right? So it was, anyway, they came in and then on the day of the funeral, because I was running around and I never really stopped to, because, you know, I was trying to organise, you know, all this Kiwi team were there, so I got certain people and mates carrying the coffin and that, and then when I walked in behind it, mate, I collapsed, absolutely collapsed. It was, everything just sort of hit me, man. It was, not good. Not good, but, you know, we celebrate the life now.
Yeah.
We celebrate. It's been 7 years this year. And, you know, there's two things you can guarantee in life, taxes and death.
Yeah.
You know.
He's left a great legacy.
He has. And, you know, he's still got his daughter. She lives in Australia and the wife. So, yeah, we miss him, but, you know, we celebrate what he did for the game. He was almost like a pioneer, you know. Pioneer by, people used to say to me, his forearm, there's that many eyebrows sitting on his forearm from the people that, you know, that era just before, you know,
it was tough.
I think he got suspended more times. When he signed with Canberra, they expected him to be suspended because they didn't want him tackling around the legs. They wanted him to put fear at the other side.
That was just the era.
Yep.
I remember going to playing in France, and it was, you know, it was a little bit behind what, you know, in terms of the era. Like they were still stuck in that tough, like. And I remember getting sent off. Normally, you're like, you know, if you're playing over in Australia, you're in trouble for getting sent off.
Well, he played in France.
Yes.
He played for Chertown. They won it.
Yeah.
And like I remember the first game, I was over there because I was playing basketball.
It's crazy there, eh?
Oh, they were playing one of the dirtiest teams in France, and so the whole town came out because. And anyway, ball got kicked off. Quentin runs it up, and as he's falling, this guy comes in with the boot, but Quentin catches it, and he looks up, and I'm sitting next to a French guy beside me. I said, "Mate, I'll give it 2 minutes, or I'll give it at least the next 6," and I guarantee, sure enough, this guy hits it up in the next 6. Knocked out cold, like big fight breaks out. Anyway, Quentin's standing up there, and all the French go, "No, Quentin, no, we don't want to fight." You know, it's he was mad. He was madman. That boy was a madman.
Yeah, I remember. Just what you say about appreciating the little things. I think about that a lot with my sister. We were there right till her stomach got taken out.
Yeah,
and we were there. I always, you move on. But then every now and then you're driving around.
Yeah.
And then that
song comes on.
Song comes on. Or,
yeah.
And it goes straight back because we were there in the hospital when she took her last breath, fighting, that gasp, and then her eyes. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But, you're trying to just hold it together for the family. And then it wasn't until I got home and it was just uncontrollable. I just broke down,
Hard, I lost a lot of weight, without even realising, It was just like, it's just how you coping with it,
How did you, for anyone else out there watching it, going through something tough like this, how did you make it through?
You got to lean into it, right? You got to be vulnerable. You've actually got to feel it. I'd had the experience with my wife's mum who passed away and dad, but I kind of was there as part of that. And you don't, until you lose someone close, in all respect, you don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know. Because in respect to Michelle's mum, who I love dearly, that was tough too, right? You've got to lean into it, If you don't, it'll just eat away at you, right? And so for me, it was just being present with it, sitting in it, and just dealing with the situation. But I'm a firm believer you got to celebrate the life as well, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's important because, I saw a photo the other day of him when he was 48 47 kgs or whatever. But I try not to remember him like that. I remember him as a big, strong, no-nonsense guy who had a passion and a love for his family and for the game.
Yeah.
And, you talk about it. They talk about how we used to respect the Aussies, and they were playing a game against Australia, and apparently they came in and they were down, couldn't come in at half time. He goes, why the fuck do we respect these fuckers? Why? Yeah. Why do we do that? He said, mate, we're better than these guys. Be proud to wear black. Mate, all of a sudden the team came out the second half. Yeah. Was like, mate, showed total disrespect to the Australian side, right?
Yeah.
But it's those little things that people do in life, right? And he was able to do that on the football field, just as you're able to do that with what you're doing in your space. I think everyone has it in them. It's just being able to step into that space and own it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for sharing, bro.
Thank you.
What's your why? What keeps you going?
Mate, for me, my why is actually uplifting and making a difference in other people's lives. I'm working in a job where I get to give back every day, but I also get to enable and unlock organisations, people that are doing well or making money, that they're able to give back and do the same thing. Someone said to me the other day that I remind them of the Māori Robin Hood.
That's cool.
And I was like, hey, Māori Robin Hood, I like that. You go out and you unlock money to give to people that are sick.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
children.
Then you get some green tights.
Yeah, mate. Maybe that's for the next Dance with the Stars.
And a vest with no top underneath.
So for me, Dave, it's, I know I've got a big network. I know I've got, I can unlock doors. So it's, my wires is how can I shift and move things where people are moving from this state to a state that uplifts them. So whether that's charity, whatever, for me, I'm an enabler. I unlock shit. Classic example. This is just the last thing. My CEO at the time asked me, because we were changing job titles, and I'm the head of engagement now. And I go, I don't like that. She goes, oh, what title do you want? I said, I want to be called the locksmith.
The locksmith.
And she
love
goes,
it.
well, that's not very corporate. I said, yeah, well, I'm not very corporate. I said, and the thing is, with the locksmith, what do locksmiths do? I got the skeleton's key, man. I can unlock anything. And if you were to go out to a corporate and go, I said, what's your role? I'm the locksmith. Oh, what do you mean by that? You know what a locksmith does. I unlock doors.
I love it.
You can't. Yeah, mate. You know what? I love that title because It's just a
Just
title.
make your own card up.
Yeah,
Just
that's right. I don't do titles, right?
self-proclaimed.
Yeah, but I don't do titles. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me, you know. But I was like, okay, well, I just thought I'd put it out there, the locksmith.
That's pretty cool. Well, Brendon the Locksmith, thank you so much for joining me, brother. It's
Thank
been
you,
amazing.
Dave. Thank you
for
so
sharing,
much,
bro.
Thank you.
Awesome. If you made it this far, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean so much to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on our videos, and share this out. These stories are so inspiring, and they need to be heard by everyone. Thank you so much, team.